Topic on. Hello, I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic and welcome to all these AEW TF moments for last night's thrilling installment of Dynamite. And quite frankly, I am all here for pissed Daddy Chris Jericho sitting in a hot tub, wearing trousers, berating a drone that invades his garden, and then Chris Jericho himself, that drunk daddykins that he is, releasing the hounds. I'm all for it. But of course, last night's Dynamite was once again a good episode of professional wrestling television with the promos and the good wrestling in plentiful supply. A special shout out, of course, goes to Trent and his question mark and Kenny Omega for a fantastic opening to the night. But of course, Mr. Brody Lee, I think you need some new shtick already. More on that later. Hit the intro. WTF! So not doing it for whatever reason on last week's Dynamite, seeing the wrestlers who were not involved in the matches at ringside to add some atmosphere to the wrestling that was happening inside the ring made me turn into child from the 90s who discovered the internet for the first time. And all that stuff. It just makes you wonder why they didn't do it on last week's show, the silly geese. And I'm sorry I've got to do this, sometimes I hate this job, but I've got to call out the blatant gimmick infringement shown in this instance here by one Pharaoh. And he might be the bestest boy. He might be the most beautiful boy that I want to take home with me every single time I lay my eyes upon him. But when that microphone was put in Pharaoh's face and Pharaoh didn't say a word whatsoever, that was more than a few shades of one Orange Cassidy. And quite frankly, Pharaoh, you might be bloody gorgeous, bonny lad, but that's not right. We can't have two sloths in AEW, especially when one of those sloths is actually a dog. You're a dog man, Pharaoh. Be the dog you were born to be. I love you. And then we got to the first commercial break. Of course, if you have access to watch AEW Dynamite on Fight TV and you're not, you're a massive numpty because you miss out on so much television gold. But this time we had Big Dick Tony Schiavone providing us with so much big dick energy when he calls Cody the Natural right to his face. And just in case you're wondering why that's a WTF moment, I mean, you're not, are you? It's Dustin's nickname, but I thought I'd better say it, just in case, you know. But could you imagine living life the way Big Dick Tony Schiavone does? He is the world's most dangerous man. He's completely fearless, and life must be a breeze. I envy him so much. Imagine saying that to Cody, and then walking away from that situation with your head held high. Amazing stuff from Big Dick Tony. And speaking of Cody, we have to make the moment he lambasted Alex Marvez for not providing him with good enough notes about Anna J, a huge WTF moment. And I'm making this a WTF moment because Cody Rhodes was having a go at Alex Marvez, the boring bastard, but that's besides the point, for not walking right up to the face of Anna J, speaking right in that face and saying, "Hey Anna, how much do you weigh? How old are you? What is your height?" As if anyone, Cody, can just go up to a lady, ask those questions, and then walk out of that scenario alive and intact. Apparently, I wouldn't know. I've never tried it. I'm too scared. And then while promoting good old JR's new book, Cody calls JR one of the last, if not the last cowboy in professional wrestling. And upon hearing that, my first thought was no wonder Hangman Adam Page wants to leave the elite with utter disrespect like that thrown his way so many times. What about that cowboy poo, Cody? What about the cowboy poo? Somebody should call that sign there Chris Masters, because quite frankly, that thing there is a masterpiece. It is also a master of cool. I like Chris Masters. Do I really like Chris Masters? I don't like Chris Masters. But wow, what a great sign, eh? Although you have to make it a WTF moment, the fact that Orange Cassidy is opening himself up to potential horrible internet trolls who might Photoshop a horrible message onto that blank bit of paper there. Should have thought about that, shouldn't he? Only in professional wrestling would you be considered a no good dirty bitch. for doing the right thing and asking people from different households to respect the old social distancing rules. Professional wrestling's bloody weird at times, isn't it? And then we learned a really shocking revelation on commentary courtesy of Big Dick Tony Schiavone when he claimed that he and Britt Baker are actually friends. Now, I've heard from people who actually have friends that when friends are together, friends, they bust balls. But Big Dick Tony Schiavone and Britt Baker's relationship, that's gone way past that. She's bloody horrible to him, man. You talk about friends busting balls, Britt Baker has taken Tony Schiavone's balls, she's put them in a coffee press and then cranked that bastard so hard Big Dick Tony Schiavone's balls have burst. What a lovely mental image I've painted there. So next up we have Hikaru Shida kicking the rail in front of Britt Baker. Britt Baker in riposte takes off her shoe and says, "Why I oughta crack you in the eye with me heel, you not dentist." Aye. And then Cody Rhodes, who was still on commentary at this point of the night, provided us with the biggest WTF moment of the last minute or so when he asked the question, why did Britt take her shoe off to eat that sandwich? And in that moment there, Cody just had his "he's got a barnacle" moment on commentary. That'll live forever, that. Well done, Cody. And then we have Jake Hager saying that he has that's ruthless aggression, but in the style of John Cena. Maybe you're smarter than I thought you were. You might be smart enough to be afraid, said Jake Roberts. Now I'm making this a WTF moment this week because quite frankly, Jake the Snake Roberts has done it once again. Why the hell is he not a big time movie director? Why the hell is Jake the Snake Roberts not writing all of the scripts for all of the big action drama things in this world today? And that's just because I was left asking after hearing that there and the rest of his wonderful promo once again on this week's Colon Dynamite. Where the hell does Jack the Snake Roberts continuously pluck these lines from? Where do they come to him from? How does he do it? And then we have Orange Cassidy corpsing when the corpse of Marko Stunt was thrown quite away by that murderous hairstyle of Lance Archer. Somebody should call Becky Lynch right now, shouldn't they? Brody Lee doesn't like yawning because it's a sign that you're weak. Now I don't know, Brody Lee doing this shtick, it might be doing something for you at home, but in my opinion, if there's one thing weak about Brody Lee calling somebody else weak for yawning, it's the fact that Brody Lee is doing a Vince McMahon impression and it's turning into a really weak thing. That was terrible. I just think what Brody Lee's doing right now is a bit rubbish. I bet Vince McMahon is seeing this and then losing countless nights of sleep after being so angry at what Brody Lee is doing. And of course I get it, sometimes you're so miserable in a place for so long that when you get out of that place, you see the thing that made you miserable in that place and you cannot help yourself but to stick the knife in when once you couldn't do that, you would have lost your job. And I say I get it because of course I did it a hell of a lot when Cultaholic first launched, but quite frankly, I wish I moved on a hell of a lot more sooner than I actually did, and I really suggest Brody Lee and AEW do the same because this lame Vince McMahon impression, it was funny once I guess, but if he starts doing that walk, I don't know, it's just doing now for me, I'm just losing the will to live here. Who would want to work for a man like Brody Lee, said former WWE superstar Scotty Goldman. Now obviously Colt Cabana didn't enjoy his time in WWE. How could he? It was terrible. What they did to him and the character they gave him was absolutely scandalous. But watching Brody Lee and hearing stuff like that from Colt Cabana on commentary, I wish they would just say something, quite literally, along the lines of Vince McMahon is a massive bellend, we do not like him, and just move on. Focus on yourselves, man, it's better for you. Honestly, it is. And then we also had Colt Cabana during that match featuring two members of the Dark Order, numbers 8 and numbers 9. Why didn't they go 69? It's because they're adults. Now you might have been thinking that Colt Cabana was going for that old joke, but oh no, he pulled a fakie. He said something else other than because 7, 8, 9. But I was left thinking, just look at 7. No wonder 6 is afraid of 7. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, looking out your bedroom window and seeing 7. You'd piss yourself, wouldn't you? And I just don't even know what to say about Chris Jericho right now. You take the moment, he poured a glass of the bubbly, but then drank from the bottle instead. Then you have the moment he calls Cody Rhodes Cody exotic. He's in a hot tub in a pair of trousers, for goodness sake. And then you have the moment he's all like, release the hounds. And then 5 of the bestest little lads all come out yapping away, trying to chase away a drone that had invaded his garden. And that drone, of course, nicked a baby-sized version of the Inner Circle's t-shirt. I don't know what you say. I want to return. I miss the fans, said Nicholas Jackson. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. Woo! I am for real when I tell you it's not just you missing the fans. Every single professional wrestler the world over, active or inactive, like you are at the moment, we're all missing the fans because all the fans are at home, aren't they? And I saw that moment there and I thought Britt Baker's heel turn happened a long time ago. And then we round things off with all these WTF moments from this week's AEW Dynamite with Big Dick Tony Schiavone promoting Dumb and Dumber. And then a second later, he claims that Sammy Guevara was the one to clock Cody Rhodes right upside the head in what has to be another WTF moment by himself. Why, Darby, why? Well, it's to add a bit of edge to that match next week, but that's besides the point. But back to the matter at hand. Big Dick Tony Schiavone calling Darby Allin Sammy Guevara while promoting Dumb and Dumber. Well, I guess it takes one to know one. I am dumb. I'm also dumb. I'm so dumb. And that is it for your WTF moments for this week's AEW Dynamite. Thank you once again for joining me on this lovely, illustrious Thursday. Just to plug some things that are coming up on the channel over the next few days. Pitches for WrestleMania 36 will be happening, but this time with Mafu, myself, and Jack the Jobber. Then we have all of the WrestleMania coverage. 2 live streams coming this weekend, both with Adam Pacitti, both on YouTube, while both nights of WrestleMania are happening. Then early next week, Monday evening, roughly, we'll have edited cut-down reactions involving 5 of us. 4 people coming for this Cultaholic Heavyweight Championship of the World. That is unfair. Night 2's reactions will be out on Tuesday evening. What else do we have? What happened at? Graded WTF moments for bloody WrestleMania. That's the show, isn't it? That's happening this weekend. All the Cultaholic pay-per-view coverage is still happening, so make sure you enjoy that. WrestleMania 36 predictions are out on the channel now. I've been Ross Waddell from Cultaholic.com. Thank you once again for joining me for all these AEWTF moments from last night's Dynamite, and I'll see you over the weekend. It's gonna be a long one. Bye.